proudest day and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Krunching Gears, the Rally Podcast, Season 2, Episode 35. We're going to talk rallying once again, and Connor, with another jam-packed show. We have Kyle White and Sean Topping, the recent junior British champions, and then we also catch up with two navigators who have a bit of a tale, is Gary McElhinney and Martin Brady. They done the recent Malton Rally, and then they're also going to compete together on the Harvest Rally coming up this weekend too. So probably quite enough weekend on the stages here past, but the Malton Rally looked quite good.
It did indeed. Now, very interesting, and you know, as you say, like it's a wee bit quieter at home, but it's a great opportunity now to catch up with people as well.
That's for sure. And like from an Irish point of view, like we had Alan Carmichael finishing second, and then Andrew Purcell and Martin Brady finishing third, and then you know a good few historic guys over there as well. A few guys still doing the prep for the RAC and all there as well. You know, Gary McElhinney, then he'll tell us about the Stratas, which seemed to be the star of the show. I think the amount of photos and videos we've seen of the Stratas over the last few days, that seemed, you know, it has caught a lot of attention. But I think first of all, you know, we mentioned it last week. Kyle White claiming the JBRC title. You know, we know how much this young fella has went through over the last few years trying to claim this title. Comes so close, and there's so many hard luck stories. It was finally good to see him himself and Sean pull it together there. You know, 2 weekends ago now at this stage.
Look, Kyle and Sean have put the work in. They really have done the grunt, and you know they're doing things on a shoestring budget. And they've had issues with the car, you know, during, you know, on a couple of the rallies during the season. So, and again on the Cambrian as well, they had issues. So, you know, they really have done very well to pull it all together and make it happen this year.
For sure, you know, like, you know, Kyle's always quick to stress about the small team that's making this happen. Like it's himself, his dad, and one other man, and then Sean helping out them from the can as well. And like, you know, the way they speak about, you know, like people, you know, men, your kids, the wives, everybody, you know, everybody's involved, everybody's making sacrifices to make this happen. So I think we'll hear from the two guys. So I'm joined now by the junior British Rally champions, Kyle White and Sean Topping. Kyle, we're a week after the events of the Cambrian. I would say it still sounds good to hear that being called junior British champion at long last.
Yeah, it's weird somebody saying it to you, because my whole life I've been hearing people being British champion, junior British champion, and just to put my name in with such of them, you know, them names is just it's been a whirlwind of a week. I can assure you.
Yeah, and like Sean, for yourself, you know, like you've seen the sacrifices, the hard work that's been going on, and like Kyle has put everything into this the last few years. Like through everything, through COVID, through, you know, adversity, he has persevered, and to finally get it over the line. And say, yes, we're two happy men last Saturday evening.
Yes, it was a bit of a surreal moment when I went over the finish line there last Saturday, and just as you say, it's been a lot of hard work by Kyle, his dad, Alan, and myself. And like as Kyle says, we're a wee small team, and there's sacrifices being made in the background, you know, like as by Kyle's wife Natalie, my own wife, and all that got there. There's a whole juggling session when it comes to even like when you put the background, like there's children to be minded and stuff. Everything, all the wee small pieces that people, you know, put together to make the bigger goal, and that's what actually makes it all the more special. That we're our small team, and as Kyle would quickly say too, and when we go away, it's banter from start to finish, you know. And I think that's what it's all about. Like really, we keep each other going, but then when we get in the car to do the recce, everything's took serious. When we do our preparations for the event, everything's took serious, and when we're in the car actually doing the rally, it's serious. But the road sections there, we can keep each other going, the start and the finish and all, we keep each other going. But yeah, it's been very special, and they're like, it hasn't really, I don't think for me it's actually sunk in, you know what I mean? Because you're quickly thrown back into your work, and then when you get back into your work, everything else goes out the window. But no, even a friend there texted me the other day, and he says, "Just now that you're British champion, does that mean you don't wave at people?" And I don't at all, I'm not there, but no, it's brilliant, because when I grew up watching the British Championship, I never thought that I'd be doing it, never mind winning it. Like, you used to stand and watch Gwyndaff Evans and stuff, and I think, in fairness, that's the beauty of our sport. We, like, nowadays you get like Gwyndaff Evans doing the rallies just for fun, so you'd get chatting to him and all, and like, I actually was chatting to him there over in Aberystwyth, and I said, "But remember watching you when I was young, Gwyndaff," and all like that, and he says, "Stop it, Sean, you're making me feel old." But now I'm the one that getting older. But no, it's great. It's great to see, and I really wanted to, as I said at the time when we finished, I really wanted to win it for two men, and that was Gary White and Alan Porty, and I wanted Kyle obviously to get it too. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
no, it's been great.
Yeah, I like Kyle. Your dad and Alan have put so much into this. Like, yes, there's time. Time is a big thing. Money, money, yes, indeed, but time and effort never knows that those two men have put in for you guys. Like, money couldn't buy that for you.
No, money couldn't buy. I don't think this year I had a choice but to win it, because my dad told me if I don't win it, I wasn't allowed to come home. So he was going to leave me over there. But no, it was, as you say, it was nice to reward them after all the hard work they've put in, because not only are they running the rally car, they bought the rally car, they're organising travel, they're organising insurance, they're organising hotels. They've done everything just between the two of them, and like, it's so difficult to comprehend the work they've put in. And it was just, whenever I crossed the line, it wasn't even the fact that I was British champion or anything. It was just the fact that, I think they deserved that.
Yeah, you've done it for them nearly as much as you've done it for yourself.
Yeah, they just completely deserve it, the work they've put in. And as I say, I wouldn't have been coming home if I didn't do it. So
No.
I think I would have been rattling a can to the side of the road somewhere, trying to get home. But no, it was just nice as well for Sean, because it was obviously my last year in the junior BRC that I was eligible, and would always says, "Do you know what? We need to get this. It'll basically set us up for maybe better things to come." But as soon as we did it, it's the first time a motor vehicle's made me cry in my life.
And like, to give Matt Cotton and Bex Hinton the shout out too. They had your dad and Alan was at the end of the stage, and they got them involved and got the photos and all. Like, wee things like that will be memories that you will carry with you forever now at this stage.
Yeah, well, I have actually a couple of photos ordered that are going to be put up on my wall, namely the one with me, Sean, my dad, and Alan. And then you also have R&R who were there at the finish line to congratulate us too. But Matt and Bax have just been absolutely awesome to us the whole way through. I'm gonna miss sucking them with champagne, because it's a rally. One of them, between Matt, Bax, or Reese Tarrant, one of them's got it, and hopefully I'm able to do it again. Fingers crossed, because it's been near enough one of the highlights of our weekends, is doing that.
Yeah, and I think Sean mentioned there earlier too was going and seeing the likes of Gwyndaff and one thing or another. Like the BRC and the Irish, the Ulster and the Circuit Ireland were huge parts of me growing up, Sean growing up, yourself growing up as well too. The BRC still means something here in Ireland. Yes, it's maybe not the the glitz and glamour it was a few years ago, but it's still a prestigious title to get your hands on.
Yeah, that's it too. Okay, it didn't lack. It lacked, what would I say? It lacked quantity, but not quality this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pace, I don't think you could get much quicker anywhere in the world. You have the likes of me, Kyle, who was absolutely on a mission this year. So fair play to him for what he did as well. You also had the likes of Max McRae came in. Okay, didn't get very far, but when he was there, he was on it. And just the pace this year was absolutely crazy. And then you have obviously Formo and all at the top level, and he was basically the pace setter all year. But it's nice to see the local guys keeping him honest too. It just shows the quality. He's never out of a car, and for our guys to come over and do what they were doing, it's just really good to see the sport.
Yeah, and like whenever M Sport are send one of their guys there to compete, they obviously still hold great faith in the BRC as well too. They're not going to send a car, the whole team for for something that they don't feel would be worthwhile marketing to.
Yeah, that's it. I think everybody had to give him the persona that, oh, he's so much quicker than everybody else. But he's actually a very nice guy to chat to. He's very down to the ground. Whenever I was chatting to him, I was saying, oh, you're doing really well. You're probably going to win this. And he's like, oh, no, no, no. Everybody here is very quick. Anybody could win this rally. And for someone like him to come and say something like that, it just shows quality that, Ireland and the UK as a whole can bring to the table.
For sure, for sure. And like Sean, we touched on it earlier, like yourself and Kyle now, this has been a partnership that's been going on for a good few years now. And like there has been, huge effort went into this, like coming up from the C2 and to the 208 R2 and then finally into the Rally 4 car. Like you've seen the way this guy has progressed over the last few years. Like if the backing was there, the sky's the limit.
Yes, that's I always said. Like when I sat with Kyle for the first time, I knew rightly he had big kahunas would be the word I suppose you could say. And there was skill there, and I seen it straight away. Like I think it was 8 or 9 years ago now. I'm getting old, my memory's probably forgetting. But yes, every rally we've done a bit more work and we progressed as went on. And Kyle's very good in the fact that if you tell him something once, he'll take it on board and listen to it and try it, and he'll give you feedback on it. He's very good that road, and he's very Kyle's nature is he's brilliant at setting the car up the way he likes it. And I think that there's stood us in good stead over the years. Kyle would be very quick to say the car's doing this, the car's doing that. And I took Kyle away at the start when we started together and went over stages, just in the road car, stages local to home to the two of us, and said, right, what would you call this corner? And, done a good bit of work in the notes, which I think stood us both in good stead. And just as every rally went past and went, as you say, from the C2 into 208, it just definitely through time, just we took leaps forward. And then we done the Northern Ireland Championship throughout, and we done the Irish Forestry and stuff. And just every rally went by, just progressed more and more. And it was great to see. And I think that's part of my enjoyment out of it. It's not just about going fast in a rally car. It's about seeing Kyle learn and Kyle progress. And as you say, I think if we're in this budget, the sky would be the limit.
That's
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's been an enjoyable journey.
Yeah, and there's total faith there from your side of the car and his abilities and he's put total faith in you. What you call him, he will drive to that. If you call something flat, he will take it flat. If you tell him to back off, he backs off. So it's a very trusted relationship from both sides of the car.
It is, yes. Like at the end of the day, I trust him with my life, and he trusts his with mine, and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of trust there, and you need that there, and it's a good friendship at the end of the day too. Like I would get no satisfaction of sitting with somebody that couldn't get on with and didn't listen and all like that. I couldn't do that, but no, there's a lot of trust there, and you have to have the trust. If you don't give the trust, it'll not work. No matter who you're sitting with. But yes, we trust we'd make good notes and we drive to our notes. And like Kyle has always been like that there. He'll always drive to the limit of his notes. He'll not take an unnecessary risk just to get a win. But generally, when he drives his notes, it pays off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Kyle, I suppose that is one of the advantages of the BRC as well. It's not very many events you get a chance to do a recce in the forest, like the Irish Forest. You have to drive to like the organisers, like Killian's or Patterson's Notes or whatever, to actually get in to do a recce in the forest. It probably helps, both yourself as well to develop as a driver.
Yeah, it does. I was always used to using Patterson Pace Notes DVD, which was really helpful. And over the years, it was they've progressed as a pace note company as well, which is really good to see. I think there was a rally there. We started writing our own notes, I think, about 2 years ago, but we always had a Patterson pace note book, to compare to see was it maybe taking too much of a risk or not. And at the start of this year, I think it might have been the Down Rally or something like that. We went to Racky. We didn't have time. Well, I don't even think we had time. I think we're just maybe too lazy because it wasn't a championship round. We just says, you know what, we'll take a Patterson pace notebook. We'll go out to the Racky and we'll do that. I think on the whole book I made 3 changes to my and that's my pace notes.
Yeah.
And I rang Michael Patterson and Michael, these notes are absolutely fantastic. I says the only thing maybe a half long or something changed, but from then we've changed back over to Patterson pace notes full time, and that has made such a difference as well. So they've done a load of work behind the scenes, and it's good to have another local company as well like that, bringing you on as a driver.
Absolutely.
But we made maybe a silly mistake at the last rally there. We went to the event with the idea we'll just drive through this rally. We just need to finish. We'll not get sucked into a battle. So what me and Sean did on the recce was every note say I'm 6th fastest. A 6 was a 5 and a 5 was a 4. So I changed my pace note system and it completely did not work. I didn't like it. Sean didn't like it. And there were some corners it was coming into maybe 15 mile an hour too slow. And then the next corner up the road, it was maybe, carrying too much speed. And we couldn't work it out at all. But such was the position we were in. If I was ever in that position again, I would make my pace notes and drive accordingly, if you know what I mean. So it's just things you pick up. And in this game, you're never done learning.
No, that's always a great thing I always find about rallying. Every day is a school day, as they say. And like Sean, you'll have that now in the back pocket. If you ever get into that position again, you'll just say, no, we'll keep the head here. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. It works every other rally. We'll just stick with it.
Yes, Kyle said in the recce we'll be driving slow and we'll be taking it steady, but there was driving slow and then there was driving slow. I was worried that everybody thinking I was driving on the first stage. It was nerve wracking. But he done the right thing. Yes, of course he did. Ran taking unnecessary risks, but I think it just nearly made the nerves worse. So it did speed up a wee bit in the later stages. Not much, but it did speed up. But yeah, I think yes, if, as you say, I would have that there in the bank again going forward in that their position would know exactly what to do because the two of us and it was great to see Kyle nervous for a change. He never gets nervous. So it was great to see that there. Even his dad said, I've never seen him like this in my life. And I had never seen him like it. So when he was nervous, that made me nervous. So the two of us had a talk with each other and says, right, we'll just calm down. We know how to get through the rally. We know how to get to an end of a rally, and we did, but definitely, as I said, if the circumstances were different, I would need to go absolutely flat out for the win. I wouldn't have been one slight bit nervous because we've been in that position before, But yeah, it was slow but scary.
And I suppose, Kyle, that was the whole thing. You knew if you made a mistake, Kyle McBride was there to pounce and claim the championship. So, yes, you want to drive, it's a natural instinct as a rally driver is to drive as hard as possible. To dial that back, that must be a completely different concept, or a completely different mindset, maybe I should say, when you're getting the countdown at the start of the stage.
Yeah, that's it. The nature of the stages were stages that you could really get your teeth into, but what you find with that Welsh gravel especially, you have to be 100% committed. So you need to have the side of the tire digging in on the entry of the corner to carry the speed. But I was near enough indicating coming into some of the junctions, that's sort of near enough. It was disgraceful at a point, but I got back in the service and I was undoing my belt singing, no, we're here, happy days, happy days. And I got the dirtiest look coming into the front windscreen from my dad. He just says, what are you doing? I didn't come the whole way over here to watch you drive around this rally like this. So he wasn't very happy with that. But there was just a couple of different things with a wee problem that we had with the boost pressure as well. So it was maybe the sensible thing to do to back off and preserve the car a bit.
Mm-hmm. And whenever you had them boost pressure issues at the start, that was on the first stage. Was it in the back of your head, oh no, here we go again, or was it no? I know what this is. Don't be panicking. It's nothing to. This will not stop the car. Just keep the head.
Yeah, well, it was just you'll always have that in the back of your mind. You're driving out of service and you hear a rattle that wasn't there before, or you hear something completely out of the ordinary. Sean coughs at the wrong angle. There's so many different things running through your head at that point. Whenever we were driving over to the recce of the rally, the recce car broke down, and that was actually just coming off the boat at Liverpool. So we got there. Then, whenever we're driving out to the first stage on the Saturday, we got a flat back right wheel. So I was ready to go into the stage, stopped halfway through the stage and change it. But then I think the stage was delayed or something, so we jumped out, quickly got the wheel changed, and then got back in again. So it was just so lucky that happened. But yeah, I just had it in the back of my mind something is going to go wrong. But thankfully, in the end, we got it.
Yeah, and then finally crossing over the finish line, like, oh, at that moment, is it like, yes, we've done it, or oh, that's good to get that over and done with, or what's the emotions at that particular time?
Yeah, I don't think I need to say too much. I uploaded a video there without intercom, and you can hear my reaction, and you can also hear Sean's reaction. Sean was a bit more calm and composed, but I absolutely lost it coming over the line. It was basically 3 years of hard work just rushing out of me at that point, and I just knew at that point, yeah, we've done it, and everybody that deserves it now has it. So yeah.
Excellent. And Sean, the same question to yourself, like finally going over that line, it's done, it's finished. Is it relief or is it joy?
Oh, for me, it was relief just to get that rally over. We were going that slow; it wasn't even enjoyable. But yes, it was special to get over the line. And like, be a liar if I said there wasn't a wee tear in my eye, but I didn't want to tell Kyle that. Never live that down. But yes, it was great when we got over the line. We seen Gary and Alan and R and Bax and Matt standing there. And then it kind of and the road section back down, and didn't know it kind of sunk in then. But and even in the past week or so, there's people there, just congratulating you and stuff. People that you don't even think that would follow you. You know what I mean? There's people, just ordinary people, saying congratulations, well done, and you're like, it sinks in, and it's nice now. It's definitely nice. It's enjoyable to have it all done, wrapped up. And as you say, there's a couple of years there, like when we were on the pace, but just bad luck let us down. Different things with the car and bit of setup and stuff. We small things that just took it away from us, but it was definitely nice to get over the line. And as Kyle says, it sets us up going forward. We kind of feel like, in a way, like as a mom would say, you've got the monkey off your back, but definitely nice, enjoyable.
Very good, very good. And Kyle, I suppose, the inevitable question is, where to next? Like you have finally got the monkey off the back. Is there plans in place for 2024 yet, or is it just enjoy the moment at the moment?
Yeah, well, no, we're definitely enjoying it. As Sean was saying there, just with the bad luck we had for the last 3 years, just for it to finally pay off. I have a lot to do DGM Motorsport and Racing Rally for this year. They took the car at the start of the year whenever I couldn't get it working last year, and they sorted a setup out for me. I give them my feedback, and this year it's been absolutely fantastic. So big thanks to them. But yeah, there is plans in place. We're just crossing the T's and dotting the I's at the minute. I can't say too much, but there's a few people I'd like to thank going forward, and I'm sure in the coming weeks we'll hear more about it.
Yeah, and we mentioned before we started recording, this wasn't just the two guys in the car, and your dad and Al. There was a lot of people made sacrifices to get you finally to get this title. I'm sure you want to pay tribute to them now as well.
Yeah, well, obviously there's my wife Natalie. I gave birth to my baby girl on, I think it was at a Wednesday. It was maybe 12:30, and then at 10 o'clock at night I was on the boat to go to Ceredigion. So yeah, there's just so many different things that play into it. Family, friends, all the rest of it. But yeah, it's just extra special to do it for them.
Excellent. And Sean, final word to yourself. Like, we said earlier, the sky's the limit. If there's anybody out there would be prepared to put their hand in their pocket and help Kyle in any way, you'd encourage it and say.
Oh yes, definitely encourage it, and we'll pay them back with good coverage, but hopefully pay them back with good results. But yeah, as Kyle says there, like as he thanked Natalie there, I'd like to thank Charlene and stuff. It's all the sacrifices that people make that make it all the more special. You know what I mean? Like moving work around, moving children around, you get stuff people mind and children, different stuff. There is sacrifices to be made. As you say, everybody sees Kyle and myself, and camera or on Facebook and stuff and what have you, but that's only part of the picture, and it takes a lot to get a good result, and that's what actually makes the good results all the more special, and when people congratulate you, you're just overwhelmed with everything. But it's really great, it is nice, and it's, as I say, we'll bask in this bit of sunshine for a while.
So thanks there to the two guys, and hopefully that sounds exciting. The plans that Kyle there seems to have bubbling under, so we'll keep eyes and ears open for that in the next few weeks. Connor, we mentioned it before. This Stratus, the attention it attracted last weekend, that noise, that Ferrari V6. Oh my god!
It's a beautiful car. It is so well prepared. It's in immaculate condition. I got the opportunity to see it up close and personal at the Autosport show a couple of years ago, and Steve Perez, like you would swear the car had just rolled off the production line. It's in mint condition.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like the effort and the work they've put in, like it was damaged badly in a fire there a couple of years ago, and to come, and get it back again, as you say, in condition that's, why anyway we want to take that thing in through a forest as long as it's another. But I suppose that's what it's built for, and that to be able to do that, like then to be able to share it with so many people.
Oh, look, it is bringing it to the fans and getting, and people getting the opportunity to see it. And again, a testament to where historic rallying has come now and the popularity that it has now. When you see the amount of attention, the amount of social media posts and clips and video clips out there now of the historic cars, especially in the build up now to the RAC, like it's just incredible how popular it is now.
Yeah, and like we also should mention is our own Martin McCormick and Barney Mitchell won the Acropolis Historic Rally. Around the last round of the Historic European Championship. How good was that? Like two of the nicest men you'll meet anywhere in rallying. Full stop. And to do what they done last weekend against four-wheel drive opposition on gravel, and looked like horrendous conditions at times as well. And one of my all-time favourite escorts, LIB 1800. Like that car has been there right through my childhood, so I think that just is such a special story.
It is, and the escort looked fabulous in the white, for a change. We're used to seeing it in red, and it was in the white. It was lovely. And again, a tough event to do. Like we all know the Acropolis is a car breaker in the WRC events, and really at the historic level, it's not much different.
No, definitely not. Probably maybe worse if that. So like to come through that, and then their teammate as well, Ernie Graham and Karen, his wife, taking a fine third overall, and then also another member of the team in the top 10 as well. Great weekend for the Flexi Fly Rally team.
Oh look, yeah, fantastic. They all came together, and what do you call it? We're able to do the event as a team, and very strong result, very strong. Really did show the amount of work they'd put in behind the scenes to get themselves there and the preparation of the cars.
Yeah, like we see Barney and Marty, they've been on the podcast here, and it's all good crack, but there's a lot of hard work goes on there in the background as well. It's not all giggles.
No, definitely isn't. What do you call it? It is. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't really get to hear about.
Mm-hmm. And like the brother Greg, will sweat, blood, and tears, whatever, to get Marty out there and get him competing. Like, and that's fantastic to have that kind of backing there for you.
It is. Look, Greg has become the ultimate team manager there with his brother. He really has. Like I remember, going back many moons ago, Greg preparing his own escorts for the likes of Donegal and different events, and working all hours and right through the night, to get a car ready to get it up to Donegal the next day for the international. So yeah, no better man for making sure the car was ready to go and well prepared.
That's for sure. That is for sure. But anyway, without with any more of us talking, I think we'll hear from Gary McElhinney and Martin Brady then about the Malton Rally initially. We'll talk about the Stratus and then a bit Donegal Harvest as well. Martin, you took a fine third place overall, and Gary, you were probably inside one of the cars of the event, the Stratus. The Stratus was like internet sensation. Maybe would it be fair to say?
What can I say about her? I suppose maybe you could call it ticking a box to sit in something like that. I was briefly in it in Goodwood Festival of Speed with Steve Perez. I think it was 10 years ago, but that was only just a bit of fun, I suppose. But this event was a bit more serious. No, it was cool to be sitting there. It's just definitely something different. You wouldn't get too many opportunities to sitting something like that.
Yeah, and like the noise, like everybody's raving about the noise, the Ferrari V6 in the back. Do you get the full vibe of that whenever you're sitting in the co-driver's seat?
You get a bit of it, but you don't get as much of it as you think you would. You would think we listened to it outside that you would be absolutely deafened inside. But no, with good helmets and stuff now, it's not as loud in cars as you would think.
Mm-hmm. And like Martin, for yourself and Andrew Purcell went over and done the event in the polo. A fine third overall at the end of the day.
Yeah, we nipped across, and we'd been talking about doing a rally together for a while, and it just came up that the Malton suited. So that was the plan. We went across with no big plan in mind, only just to do a rally for the sake of doing a rally. We didn't go that terribly hard. He's very new to that car, so it was interesting for me to see what a Polo was like on gravel compared to what they are on tarmac, and for sure they're a good car. But it was very much just a learning exercise. We went over last minute, came back straight away. So the result was good. Yeah, the result was a bonus. We knew going into the rally that those stages had been used on the track rod. Certainly two of them had been used almost identically on the track rod this year. And the middle stage then was, it's quite familiar to most people. I've been over a lot of it in reverse before. So you're going to a rally where people have been fresh over, and it's had a rally recently. So bits of it were a little bit rougher than maybe you would expect. And I'd say a lot of that was to do with the rain, because there was torrential rain there, and that made the stages very slippy. So it was one of those days, if you stuck your neck out, you could be standing on the hedge, waiting for a lift home. So we definitely didn't want to do that. So we tipped around, and we were glad to finish third, and it was a nice handy run back to Holyhead, stop and have a bit of grub and talk about the good old days on the way back down the road, and just a nice weekend. And even it's funny, like we were in at the driver's briefing, and there was another co-driver there up chatting to Gary and I about the harvest, and he was talking about it, and I was saying I have no idea. Gary was saying he'd a big announcement, like who was going to co-drive for him, and we were having a bit of a laugh about that, but yeah, that was a relaxing weekend last weekend, and we're planning on another one next weekend, a bit of fun.
Excellent. And I suppose before we get to that, Gary, I suppose the whole idea of the Malton was the pre-RAC rally hype. You got an event under your belt in the car. Will it give you a bit more confidence now going into the RAC now in a few weeks' time?
Definitely. Well, it should have given us more confidence, but anyway, she turned out to be a nightmare, to be honest with you, on the slippy conditions. We really, really struggled with setup. Just kept wanting to turn itself around the road. If you got a bit of muck or stuff and got in a bit of a slide, you just wanted to spin around. So we struggled a lot with setup, but probably a good thing if we had started the first day of the RAC with that setup. I think we probably would have been home in the evening, but she was really bad now. But the boys are having another test now planned to maybe next this weekend. I think they're planning to go testing again to see if they get our hand a bit better. But it's a really cool car. It sounds, the videos of it's unreal. Will it go well in RAC? I think it's more of a. I don't think it's competitive enough for the Escorts or the Porsches. I think Seb would, if he's going to go to the RAC to have a big result, he'd better take his Porsche. If he wants to go to the RAC, for the Stratos experience and the spectators, etc., take the Stratos and have a bit of fun. But as a result, and as far as I can see, I think it's going to be I think we'll do well to be top 10. Well, you do well to be in the top 10 with the crowd of people that have entered. But no, I think it's going to be an experience to do the RAC inner, and it'll be a bit of fun, I think. But as for result wise, I think we'll not beat our second for all the last time we were there. We definitely won't be hard to that.
And like Martin, speaking of RAC rally, yourself and Kyle Tilley are, you're all about doing these rallies with like an element of adventure in them, and like they don't get much more adventures than the RAC and UK rally.
No, they don't, and I've been fortunate enough to do the RAC twice now with Seamus Burke, and very much enjoyed the challenge of it. There is a lot of work. It's before the rally. It's certainly as tough a rally as any co-driver will do, because it's back to the old school of organizing the chase crew and that kind of thing. And that's I like that. That plays well for me. So I like that bit of it. I like the rallying in the dark. It's one of those rallies. I remember Neil McCants, a guy that's no longer with us and was a great character. He spoke one day when we were coming back in a boat from a rally. He said, these old rallies, he says, we only really enjoy them when we've done them and we're looking back on them. And the RAC is a bit like that. When you're 11 o'clock at night in Kielder and you still have another stage to do and you have to head back to Carlisle for a service, it can be wet and miserable, but it's a nice bit of torture, I think. I like it for that. And this year it's going to be a massive challenge. It's a much longer route than it has been in other years. It's 32 stages. The last stage being a very long stage. I think they're aiming to have it as the longest stage in UK rallying since the Network Q RAC of old, back, I think, in the Impreza days. So it's that's going to be a big one, and you need to be at the end of the rally obviously to get through that one. I think it is going to be very much keep your nose clean sort of a rally, and Gary talks about how difficult it'll be to finish in the top 10. I think we'll have a good answer for that after the first day. There's a lot of superstars there. There's going to be a lot of big egos. There's a lot of guys that will want to be at the top of the timesheets on day one. I think the competitive element is going to come out in this rally like it never has. So by the end of day one, you'll have a good idea of just, how heavy the pace is and if everybody can stick it, because unfortunately the law of averages, I don't think everybody will. They can't. You're in as good as cars are built nowadays, you're still in older machinery and things can still go wrong, or there'll be plenty of places to catch you out. The weather will be a big thing. So for the spectators and everyone at the front of the field, the first couple of days they're going to be electric. Like it's going to be good. As I say, it'll be the most competitive. I think you just have to look at the names that are there. So our plan is to go and enjoy it, try and get every mile of it. Kyle came to the rally last year spectating on it when we were doing it, and he just was enthralled by the whole thing and said, sorry, in where were we now? 2019 when it was last on?
21, yeah.
Oh, sorry, 21. Yeah, so I did it in 19 and 21. Gosh, I'm getting old and forgetting. And he's, said it's a rally we absolutely have to do the next time it's on. So that was the plan. Although we haven't been in the car together since March, racing stuff has been busier and busier because there's just more and more happening. So we planned to do different rallies, and then just something else came up, and we haven't been in the car. We planned on doing Carlisle, planned on this. So at the minute, we'll get some miles in Sweet Lamb on the Monday before the RAC. So we'll be quite rusty in that sense. So we'll definitely be playing into the let's just play ourselves in and get finished. And as I've told them, for a guy that's used to doing a 24-hour race and being in the car for, however, 10, 11 hours of that, it shouldn't be a problem to him. We'll be grand. But it'll be, looking forward to it. I think there'll be a good atmosphere. There's so many of us doing it. I'm sure we'll have good laughs and good bits of crack at some point during the rally too. There'll be plenty to enjoy, as well as the competitive side of it. And it's going to be good.
Yep. And Gary, we seen the last time in 2021, the rally's never over till it's over. The final morning, the way it just shook out. So, you're saying, if you can get to the finish, you'd like to think possibly maybe top 10 or whatever. But, it was unbelievable the way the whole event changed on the final morning last year. Suddenly, you just were up onto second, and Ryan Champion was in the lead. And, I'm sure Ryan would admit he wasn't the fastest driver over the weekend, but it was, I suppose the old dog for the hard road paid off at the end of it all.
Oh, definitely. We were forced overall going into the last day, and we were quite happy with that. Surely would have loved the podium, but we were quite content with fourth. It was a good solid drive. Seb, he's 20, he was 22 years of age, I think at that point, or maybe 21, and it was a good solid drive for him to drive for 5 days in them conditions. And next thing, we started the first stage on the last day, and the first person we come off was Price. Oshy Price. He was off, had a rock or something, or something happened to his wheel, or maybe the wheel fell off without hitting anything. I'm not sure what happened, but he was sitting on the side of the road off. And then we come on Paul Barrett. And we just could, one stage, we went from 4th overall to 2nd overall. It was just unbelievable. And from then on, we just cruised the rest of the day. We were nice and we thought safe enough in our position. Aidan Heathers was coming hard, of course, behind as he would do. But we just needed to kind of keep them at bay, and we cruised around, finished 2nd overall. And, I mean, we started the rally never ever thinking we could be in that type of position. You know, a top 5 would be mega for us. That rally's it's just so tough. Martin will tell you there that on a co-driver and a driver, but co-driver especially, it's really, really tough rally to keep the cool in just day after day after day, and snow and ice, just tough conditions.
I think Martin, I suppose, I think what Gary is saying there, that the rally goes through everything at you for those 5 days.
Yeah, I think it's a rally that you can make it easier on yourself by the prep you do before it, because being familiar with your road book and being switched in with your service crew and where they're going to be, and that when you start into the rally, you have a definite plan for all that sort of stuff, because it's not a rally you can wing or pull together on the fly, because by the end of it, you're getting tired. You're asking a lot of your service crew as well, because the guys are out doing, chase crew management, to give it its politically correct title. And, you've all that going on. So it's by the time you come to the end of it, and as Gary said, we started that last morning going into Walters Arena, and all of a sudden you have Ocean Price at the side of the road. You come over another crest and you have Gordy standing with an OK board. And it's, hang on, this rally is far from over yet. And then we left, the last day on paper looked pretty simple. You had your 2 stages in Walters, and then we had another 2 stages up the map a bit. One of them hadn't been used in something like 18 or 19 years. And we went into it and it was so slippy, like it was grass up the middle of the road. And even at a conservative pace, there was people off in there, and we found that tricky. So it was, last year was a sting in the tail from something that looked simple. This year, there's a very deliberate sting in the tail, I should say, with this long stage. So, yeah, it's a tough rally, but where else are you going to get it? Where are you going to get something like it? It's a monumental undertaking from the organisers, who are the backbone of the historic championship in the UK as well. So they've been working all year on running that championship, and it's a massive task to run this rally. And when I've done it, they've ran it well. They've kept the whole thing moving very well. So it's not easy on anybody, but I think the people that will get the best out of it this year is the spectators, because imagine being on the side of the road in Dalby or Kielder or wherever we're going, and hearing those BDAs coming barking, and then you'll hear the Stratas coming, which I think, win, lose or draw, that car and those guys in it are going to be stars of the rally this year, because it just sounds so cool. It sounds like it's doing 200 mile an hour as it's coming towards you. And I've only seen it in the videos. I mean, I was joking with Gary there after the rally that I think he's probably he and Seb are the most photographed people in Europe after the weekend, because everywhere you look on Facebook, it's people just getting super excited about the Stratas. And why wouldn't they? It's something different, and it's something so cool. And that's a brilliant part of it. And it's a great entry list. Even it's even further back. There's just when you're starting the rallies in the morning, you can be walking around and looking at cool things like there'll be gallants and different things there. Just there's stuff all walks of life. There's guys doing it in old Saabs and things like that. It's just cool.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I suppose there's probably a joke in it, what you get if you put 2 rally co-drivers into the one car. But this is what you're going to do this weekend, the Harvest, Gary. And will it be hard to have to listen to somebody rather than do all the talking?
Not at all. Martin's easy. No, I was having doing Harvest, but anyway, asked Martin was he available, and he had to come to America, but that's not happening now. So I'm glad to have him on board for the weekend for a bit of crack. And haven't much. Martin's probably looked at more stuff than I have. All I know it's up Creasla direction, so we're going to do a recce on Friday, hopefully, and all going to plan. We'll do the rally on Saturday. And listen, so I better crack. I don't take it right too serious. It's quite for a day's fun. Martin will be taking it more serious than me, so it'll be hopefully get a few slides and a crack going.
And like, you know, the last few years you've probably become better known now as a co-driver than the driver. But like, you've done a fair few events over the years. Like, would you have a rough idea, roughly, where you're at in the total of drives now?
Well, I did talk about this with Martin earlier, and this is going to be, according to EWRC, including there's 3 show events in it that I've drove, but this is going to be event number 100 driving. So I'm not sure if there's anything else in there missing, but it's in around that anyway. So Martin has 500 and something, probably 550 rallies co-drove at this point. So it's cool to be doing event number 100 with somebody's experience with Martin on board. So I might quit off this weekend. This could be my last rally drive.
So, like, Martin, number 100 for Gary, as Gary alluded to there, you have a few more on board than that.
I'm going to say this is 547, I think. I do know, I looked it up because he's driver number 115. So I had this joke. I have sat with a co-driver once before as such that I can remember, and I hope I'm not insulting anyone that I've forgotten, but I did Banna Beach with another good friend of ours, Ross Ford. And since that, he's in the phone as number, I can't actually remember what he was now, but probably changed Gary's name in the phone now to number 115. But looking forward to a good bit of crack. Actually, sorry, yeah, sure, I am forgetting someone like Andrew Purcell was a national champion as a co-driver. So I have sat with co-drivers before, and I seem to get on well when I sit with co-drivers in the car, and I seem to get on well when I'm sat with any racing drivers in the car. So I'm sure that'll continue this weekend, but definitely the plan is just we'll have a fun weekend. I feel honoured to sit with a guy that has many times had the title of entertainer of the rally in the Donegal International. So if we don't win that for the Harvest, I'll be very disappointed. So there's that. I hope that prize exists, and if not, we'll have to make our own one. Award ourselves entertainers of the rally.
Gary, up until the last few years, the rally has been closed event for Donegal Motor Club members. It's attracted 150, 116 entries. I think now it's been opened up to everybody. Like, that says something about the strength and depth of rally in the county that can attract such a strong entry.
Oh, it's open now to everybody else, is it?
I think so, yeah. That seems to be that's the story that's been put out there.
They'll get a few more then of boys that wouldn't be club members that would be keen to do it. Get a run out for the end of the year. Oh, that's good news then. Oh well, it'll still, although it's a few days away, but there'll still be a lot of boys entered now as a last minute push. So the Harvest always as well, like even the mini stages and stuff that Donegal would have ran over the years always got decent entries, and sure, you know yourself, the county's full of rally cars here. So you don't bother yarn 6th or 7th grade.
And it's real good strength and depth entry as well too. Like the top 10 would be a quality top 10 anywhere in the country, and class 14, class 13, class 12, every class, it's so well supported as well too, which is great to see in rallying at this time of the year.
Yeah, so the quality of the cars in this country and county of Donegal, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. All the top cars. When I'm co-driving in different countries, people will always say, "But oh, you're from Ireland. You're so mad about rallying there." And from afar, they think we do not hear about rally. They don't hear about any other sport. You know what I mean? Compared to rallying, and they just think. I think if they came here, they'd imagine there's just rally cars driving about all day, every day. It's so popular. But no, it's good. It's good to see, because it wasn't around the championship or nothing. It's good to see the boys get maybe entry for their event, and hopefully now it'll fill now if it's open to non-club members. It'll fill on out, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And like Martin, I suppose final word to yourself, like, you know, probably what Gary is saying there, you've travelled the world, you've seen the Irish Rally and through other people's eyes. Like, has it that reputation across the globe that, you know, it's a welcome place and it's, you know, it's rally mad here?
Yeah, definitely. Regularly, I will be asked either at rallies, you'd have people sending you a Facebook message, you know, I really want to come to Ireland, I really want to compete, I really want to see a rally, you know, and the rallies they're always asking about is Donegal and Killarney. They're the two that people always talk about. And, you know, then when Ken, for the Americans, when Ken Block came to do Donegal, that shone a big light on Donegal and the stages. And, you know, you have people saying to you, the scenery, they can't get over Knockalla or Atlantic Drive, and then they look at in-car. You know, people would say to you that they can't grasp how long our stages are, how much road we have. And I suppose for somebody sitting and watching in-car, Knockalla, you know, where you started, you have the beautiful view of the sea and all that, and then you get to the end. What to us is normal enough, but to other people, how narrow and how bumpy it is, and the commitment and the speed, they just can't wrap their head around it. So yeah, people, and the other thing, of course, you know, many years ago we were the country in the world that had the most world rally cars, and you know that always comes back in conversation. And you know, I would speak to people now that have cars from that era in collections or are rebuilding and stuff, and you're chatting to them. Like if you take, for example, just an S9 Subaru, if there's anybody in the world that has an S9 Subaru, it has driven a stage in Ireland. So that's shows just, you know, the reach we have. And it'll probably be the same with a lot of the R5s. You know, so many rally cars will have turned a wheel in this country. So we for a country of our size, we reach pretty far, you know. So
there's going to be some crack with them two boys now on Saturday. The Harvest Rally, you know, touch wood at the moment. The weather is looking fairly favourable for Saturday up around that area, so we can but hope. Another wee interesting fact that I noticed just looking down through the entry list is the amount of father and sons out doing. You have Declan Boyle with Matthew and Michael out doing the event, Donna with Eamon doing it, and then Daniel Doherty and his son then out doing it in the micro as well too. You know, so like I think Adam in the micro. So, you know, it's great to see the next generation coming along. You know, we know all how successful those three guys were in their time. So the next generation coming up, we keep talking about the youth coming up through in rally and how important it is and how vibrant it's making the sport. Things like that I just love seeing.
Oh, look, you know, it's lovely to see, you know, father and sons out competing and competing against each other. Not that they're sitting in the, you know, driver and co-driver seat. They're actually out competing against each other. And I'm sure adds a bit extra rivalry to the whole thing as well.
That's for sure. And like, you know, only recently the event got opened up to non-Donegal Motor Club members as well too. So that might bring an extra few exciting entries in the next day or two as well. So we can but hope. And another guy there too is John Bonner out doing it in his Mark II. Like the night we had with John there, you know, a few weeks ago, with having the special with his dad, that was a special night.
I know, it was a fabulous night. It really was. And yeah, listen, John's a lovely guy, and be interesting to see how he gets on and competing. And, you know, as well as that, like if you look down through that entry list, there's 4 Polos, is there? And 3 Citroen C3. So, like, you know, a nice little top 10 there.
For sure. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, and no doubt we'll talk about it more next week. So, that was Season 2, Episode 35. Until the next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.